Peace to the nation. Uh, I hope this early morning finds you well. I This is one of my days off, and since I worked a lot this weekend, I slept a lot, so I'm up late. Not to say I'm not normally up late, but my mind's a little bit active this evening, or this morning. And I was thinking, shit, think about a whole lot of different things. Um, I was thinking I need to come on actually, because I appreciate those people who came on and took the opportunity to check out my video I made the other day. Uh, I got a couple of subscribers since that time period. It's not the tens of thousands of views or the thousands or the hundreds of views uh, that you know a content creator would aspire to receive, but hey, I'm extremely celebratory and gracious and gratified. Well, I don't know, gratified. I can say I'm gratified by the tens of views I received on my last video. So, I said to myself, I need to come on. I didn't necessarily have a topic, but there's something as I sit here and I talk, there's a topic that comes to my head right now. Um, and that topic is that sounds corny for me to and that sounds corny for me to say. And that topic is, well, I really wanted to talk about something that I saw. I saw on social media, because a lot of times you spend a lot of time on social media. Most of the things you see, I guess that sounds kind of sad. Sad. Most of the things you see, I guess, in the name of entertainment, you will see on social media. But I saw that Live Nation. Um, I don't know if it's a tour or whether it's a one spot, but it's you seem I believe it may be a tour, very well maybe a tour. It's a David Chappelle tour, uh, sponsored or financed or backed by Live Nation. Uh, this is the nigga nation. Well, this is the nigga room, the Niger room, and I am Flavin is Niger. Um, I am, on this page you hear a lot of talk about Mr. Charleston White and what have you. So when I say this, when I come to say this, I say this to say that Mr. Charleston White had the opportunity to headline or participate or uh, be involved with Live Nation by way of a tour. And it was supposed to have been a multi-city, I guess in some cases you could say multinational, international tour. And this tour was made possible by the interaction of a veteran comedian named TK Kirkland. Uh, Now, I'm old enough. I'm old enough to remember when the early phase of the TK Kirkland. I probably was a kid, still, preteen, little kid, whatever. When TK Kirkland was really getting it off, because that was around the time when Eddie Murphy was pretty much ascending to the position of the top dog comedian or actor, whatever, black celebrity, period. So and me knowing the only time that I necessarily had heard anything outstanding about T. Kirkland was maybe like if you hear one of them Chitlin Circuit tours, comedy tours, or perhaps if you heard if uh he might have done a Vlad TV interview, or perhaps if you might see, and this is supposedly allegedly a fake TK Kirkland account. You might see a random YouTube comment underneath the name TK Kirkland. And that's not to say what he wasn't doing his thing or who he was during that time period. that he wasn't necessarily standing out by way of movies or comedy specials or things like that, Netflix comedy specials or HBO comedy specials or Showtime just Comedy Central comedy specials. We wasn't necessarily seeing that. He wasn't even you wouldn't even see him in any type of like soul playing type of movies or nothing like that. So, but nevertheless, he did make a way through his associations in the comedy world to say, well, I want to bring Charleston White on to do a Live Nation tour with me. And this way I can be the mentor and the guide and teaching the business. And meanwhile, I'm saying, while I'm telling people that I'm going to teach him the business, I'm going to be his mentor, I'm also applauding him and complimenting him by the way he does his business. And also just pretty much acknowledging the fact that he actually that he actually would had to he actually came Kirkland actually had to come to, actually came to Charleston. Said, I've been watching you, blah blah blah. What would you be watching her for? If you didn't realize there may be some marketability or some form of opportunity in there for you. You didn't just decide to just see a random person and decide that your uh, expertise and your connections would have that strong power or the ability to move so many mountains uh, that you would be what's to say? What I look like? What am I trying? How am I trying to say this? Charleston is I mean, I'm not saying you worked in business years and years. Charleston White is more popular than you. You're more popular. He may not be as well known, but well, I guess when you think about the grand population, but if you compare age demographics, he probably is more well known than you in certain age demographics. TK Kirkland. So it's like, okay, well, the tour appeared to be going very well. During the time period that Charleston was with it. Uh, but then, of course, as people know, they fell out. Well, now I can't even say that. I can't even word it like that. Charleston White wasn't getting paid, and the amount of which they, I guess, was proposed or put in, offered to Charleston White once the offer was actually made. You can say, I want to mentor you and I'm gonna put you on this, that, and the third. Well, I mean, even though I may be getting education, uh, my time is still of value. I can't just necessarily waste my time. Well, I guess if it's actual strong mentorship and it gives you the ability to learn skills and information that will benefit you along the course of the endeavor in which you're attempting to practice, well, sure, I'll be that intern. But still, you still have to take in consideration that even without your tutelage or your mentorship, I'm selling out shows and making thousands of dollars per appearance. So now, the separation has occurred, and from all intents and purposes, one thing that, and this is something else I thought about, I remember after the Say Cheese interview when Charleston said, well, I'm not getting paid. He didn't attack anybody, insult anybody. He just stated the facts as they were. Um, you had TK Kirkland come online, and he had said something to the effect that, you know, Charleston, I guess since that Charleston don't come online talk about it, that's a feminine trait, blah, 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 don't come online, because that when usually there's a transgression or insult or effrontery made toward Charleston White, he comes on, he'll come online and address it for what it is. But TK Kirkland said, please don't come online or where the fuck you was saying. But he didn't want Charles to come online. But when I say the reason I say that is to say this. That nigga immediately went on an online tour. He got to the point where he was bringing up history where niggas had knocked him out on the concrete and Then he going, he carrying his cameras up into the Live Nation office where they got the little how do you say those craft food what they when they have in Hollywood for the extras when they working on the movie set. They had the celery and the carrots and the ranch dip out for the nigga. This is how they treat you at Live Nation. Da 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 da. Meanwhile, that man that help you sell out the shows, which you say that you sell out these type of shows all the time. The man that we know, and of course you should logically and reasonably should know at this point, helped you sell out them shows or sold out them shows. So now it's like, okay, after split was going on, we're just going on. I just gave him an opportunity. He just didn't understand business. He just don't know business. Blase will Skippy. So even all through this, Charleston White didn't say nothing about old boy. Just didn't. He said, I'm to do to respect my elders. I'm gonna go by underneath the code or the moral clause or the the proper behavior. Where okay, I'm not going to be disrespectful to my elder. I'm just going to take whatever the elder said with a grain of salt. Whether no matter how bullshit it may be in reality. I'm not going to go in on this person. I learned I did it before to another elder, and I felt a certain kind of way because I reacted I reacted impulsively in my reaction to what I perceived to be an injustice or one, like I said, an effrontery against myself. So I'm going around this long bush to say now, Charleston White is off the tour. Charleston White is going out eating Windback. He went to the it was called the Chitlin Circuit, but now it's the new Underground Railroad, and he's still being successful, making all types of connections in mostly southern states. But it was the grown folks talking to her, and it was, I know that I was doing my part to promote it. Um, it was a high ticket. People waiting for Charles to come to my city. It's supposed to be in the comments section of the chat room talking about typing to Charles White, come to here, come to there. It was gonna be a comedy show, and with all these spots, it's got to be a spot that's gonna be close to certain groups of fans or people that admire or interested in Charleston White, and not so much TK Kirkland. But David Chappelle now has a Live Nation tour that the Live Nation has announced online, uh, and the way that the marketing is for it. Uh, And considering it's about to get cold, when it get cold and in the fall time and the winter time, people bundle up and go out on the town, go see a show, in a nice warm theater, get romantic with it, or what have you. Uh, who, like I said, because I don't know everybody saw it, but TK Kirkland walking the Live Nation building like he was the mayor. And his show, he touts his show. We haven't heard much about it lately. We know it's not really, but I guess if you weren't necessarily focused on TK Kirkland before he hooked up with Charleston White, that is what it is. And I guess I could say that about myself. Maybe the people who are associated with TK Kirkland, maybe his association with Charleston White might have gave his veteran career status a boost. But I don't think he gave him a boost enough to where, he'll be a hotter ticket on Live Nation than Dave Chappelle. So, I imagine, well, you say he went to the particular day, the film or whatever, he had went to the Live Nation, I guess, to pick up a check or sign a deal or something like that. Somehow I don't think that David Chappelle would have had to do it the way that TK Kirkland was fronting like he was doing, well, I shouldn't say fronting, that he was going about the manner doing it online and on camera. So for that part, I say, you know, it's like, well, why would you say, on one hand, not to address it online, but yet still you utilize it as a benefit for yourself to somewhat bring some notoriety, or I guess the people say clout, to yourself. But it looks like somebody wrote something on the screen, and I can't see good, so I'm gonna look and see what it is. And that's Max. I went live with you. Went live on Instagram. I ain't know. He got his live privileges back. I guess it's cool. He got his live privileges back. I ain't getting no notifications or nothing to see. But you know, it could have been just about any one of the accounts. You know, they lose when the game won, frequently and infrequently. But yeah, man. I'm on here. I came through here, you know, to chat a bit. You know, and once again, thank all those who have came through the support you got. Um, I'm still shuffling my way through this. Well, now I can't even say that. I'm a work in progress, you know, because I know I have to. When I come on here, I have to captivate the listener and hold the listeners here, even though my listeners aren't quite here yet with me. Um, Nevertheless, I did my. I don't think I cursed. You know, they say there's certain things you have to do underneath the YouTube law. Albeit my page is not monetized, I guess I'm somewhat practicing. But I don't know. It may not even be necessarily. I don't know, because I don't necessarily feel these. I'm just gonna keep hold silent. That'll be for another time to talk about. Nevertheless, I appreciate anybody who might have stuck around with me long enough to reach the end of this video. And with that being said, nigga nation to nothing. Um, Peace and love until the next go round. You dig? Shit, fucking